Okay, we're here with this Homelite 330. I'm going to put it back together. This is part 2. I got this magneto. I could only find and purchase a used, tested good magneto. Still looking pretty good for it. It's slightly different than the one I took off of mine, but I do think this is the actual original. Mine didn't have this additional ground that goes underneath the one screw that holds it down and plugs in there, and then there's another spade plug there that this goes to your kill switch. Okay, so I do already have my magneto on, so I don't want to take it back off, but I can tell you when you do it, if you never did it before, first of all, you sand all the two front ends on it. Here, I'll grab my old one so I can show you. You know, you sand that stuff, and you sand here where the screws are a little bit. You want it to be nice and clean. See how this one don't have that extra ground wire. Did work though with that one at one time. Anyway, once that's there, you stick this or a piece of sandpaper in between there. Rotate that until the magnet reaches your magneto. Obviously your screws are loose at this point, so it moves just a teeny little bit. So you're adjusting that gap with that piece of sandpaper, as you can see there. See how I have it in there, in between there? Okay, and then you tighten these two down, these two screws, tighten them down real decent, don't go crazy. And rotate that out and get your piece of sandpaper back out of there. And now that gap is right, so it don't rub your magnet. See, that's a magnet. That's how it generates the electricity. So once that's on there, make sure you hook your wire up if it's not already hooked up. Got your cover here. Okay. The only thing you gotta watch is that you don't pinch your wires. This little spot here is for your spark plug wire, not that wire. It's for the spark plug wire. But you do need that spark plug. I mean the additional wire coming off of the magneto. You need it to come up in that same little area right there. So it'll be a little tricky. You eyeball that up before you take it apart. And yeah, just get it together there. Okay. What you should do is get all your screws, you know, and put them together according to size. It'll kind of make a little more sense. Take note to the fact that, okay, this is the bottom of the saw. Saw would normally be see this carburetor up here. This is the bottom of the saw. This forward screw here, that one gets this ground wire. Should have seen that when you were taking it apart. I like to try to put all my screws in to sort of squeeze the two pieces of metal together to make them line up. Two on this side. Then once you know that they're all in there started, you get yourself a little ratchet, or I would say a ratchet. Sometimes I use my drill. At least bottom those two out on that side. Give it a nice little torque. You see how I torque? I torque it by holding it there. In other words, I'm not using the handle to get extra leverage. The best I get like that, that's what I do. Especially when it's something, aluminum like this. Don't want to go too crazy. You can always tighten it later, but if you strip it, you'll regret it. Get your ground wire lined up straight there like that. It's barely long enough. Okay. Now, both these wires are going to basically go right here, and this is the kill switch right here. Will be. Put the bottom on first. I want to attempt to put this top on first. I want to see if it makes any difference. Something should be apparent on why this thing is so difficult to take apart sometimes. So I'm just going to try it. Okay, it takes that longer Allen wrench one at the top there. When I do it the other way, it seems like I have a hard time hooking up them wires to that kill switch. So let me see how this works out here. See, and having your muffler off here, you can hook these up a lot easier. Now, in the first video, I said that, okay, your ground wire goes to that front prong, the one closest to the engine. Ground, and then that goes to that. So yeah, just push that on there. Hopefully I'm not getting that reversed. If you do get it reversed, it will not spark, I can tell you that. But I think I remember that properly. Yeah, you just want to make sure that's seated down on there. I don't want it to fall off. Okay, and then the one coming off the magneto goes closer to the body, which I guess grounds it out when you turn it off. Okay, and so they basically just go right there in that little spot right there like that. Not a whole lot there for it. See that. I do believe that it's easier this way. We'll see if it holds true. Okay, so now obviously your fuel pump, that hose. Now in the first video you see I have two hoses because I didn't have one of these duct valves, they call it. Basically that's air in but not air out. That's how mine is. Some chainsaws have a vent hose and it comes off the carburetor or something like that. In this case, they have this little thing there. It's called a duct valve. Why ain't I seeing that in the video? Where's the hell is the camera at? Alright, there it is. See that little hole there See that little rubber grommet? Only a couple bucks. I had to get them on Amazon. Duck valve. All right, obviously you have to take your cap off, or you're never going to get it on. I'm already starting to doubt whether or not this is going to work this way. Well, if I would have screwed on the bottom plate of that carburetor, I wouldn't have. But this little bit of movement right here is going to allow me to probably be able to do it. You want to stick that hose in that bigger hole in the plate, bottom plate of your carburetor. Okay. This may or may not happen. I'm really starting to have doubts. You may have to do it the other way. Clear. Make sure your hose is clear. There like that. Okay. You see the tank is almost where it needs to be. Okay. Even though that's a little bit of a struggle, I do think that it's easier because I'm telling you, it really sucks to not be able to hook those wires up properly the way you want to. So at least you can really eyeball them, make sure they're in the right spot. So I do think that is the right way to do that. You know, and the reverse should hold true, but honest to God, if you watch the first video, you'll see it's hard to take that top off of the motor. If I ever do it again, I will take this off first and try to do it in this manner, and maybe something becomes apparent. I don't believe it. I think if I remember the video, I already had that off, but yet I still couldn't get that top off. It just kind of gets binded up in there with the tank, and you're convinced you're forgetting something. Anyway, you're almost done, believe it or not. Take this cover, okay, put it on here. You have to fish your spark plug wire through there. Look at that. Look how easy that went. Right down in there. Okay. And then I'll flip it over here and I'll do one of these longer Allen wrench screws, which goes in that bottom front of your pull starter. And they don't have no washers on them. They fit freely inside that hole. I think they're designed to be able to move right there independently on that bushing. Otherwise, you'd probably feel all the vibration. I mean, the other thing is it kind of goes down there almost flush. Otherwise, your handle would sort of hit it. So you see there, it almost goes flush in there. So that's in there. Let's see. The other one you gotta do that. Okay, now we have it upside down here. Now we're going to be working with the longest screws of all of them. 1, 2, 3 back here near the spark plug. And one here on the outer corner of the spark plug. Good way to do this. I said this before, and sometimes I don't practice it, but go backwards a little bit. You feel it drop in the hole then you know you're right where you're supposed to be, and then go forward. That saves you a lot of times from cross-threading your hole on a lot of things. Just get them decent until you have them all in. I can feel that front one now. There it goes, it just grabbed now. Backwards, you feel it click into the threads. And forward. I think I'm where I'm supposed to be. Feel it getting tight though. For some reason. I know I didn't strip it. I don't think any one of them was any longer than the other. Not sure what I'm missing there. But yes, I'm going to have to start all over unless it's stripped out from being taken apart too many damn times. We'll see. I'm almost positive that they're all the same size. Yep, they're all the same size. Since I'm this far, I'll eyeball the hole. Oh, okay, see, you can't get that off unless you take that Allen wrench hole. Screw out. Off the bushing, off the little shock absorber. Okay. Now it'll come off. See what's going on there. Actually looks good. I have a funny feeling that since the screw's so long that even though I thought I was straight, I was probably down in that groove. And it's really as simple as that, believe it or not. Alright, back to square one. Make sure your spark plug wire is where it's supposed to be. Make sure, when you're doing these things I'm calling shock absorber, make sure that's inside there. Goes inside there. I greased all them up. The only one that takes these extra plates is that top one for some reason. Unless they were missing on mine. Make sure they're in there. So back to spark plug wire being where it's supposed to be. We'll start with this one that was being a problem. Yeah, I can feel the thread now. I must have been down in that groove like an idiot. But you see me go backwards, if I felt like I was feeling threads, but yet it was fairly easy, so I guess I should have caught on to it. See how this one just dropped right straight down, but yet I know I'm not in the threads. It's just that it's that long that it'll go over to the side if you let it. You can tell just the way that dropped down, that right in that little spot. All more reason to carefully put it together. I keep seeing that ground wire right there just showing. I'm just not used to ever seeing it. So I'm just trying to make sure it's not pinched. See me play around with that. And make sure your casing is fairly square. Sometimes you need to tap it a little bit. You want them to come together as nicely as it possibly can. So that time I ended up putting them in first. Now I'm going to go back to the longer Allen wrench, which goes inside that rubber bouncer shock absorber, whatever you want to call it. Give that a nice tug. This I had that one in on the top. This one on the top here is the one that gets these two little things, which you can see in the second one. Hopefully that did not get away from me. Too many things going on here on this table. Damn it. I really don't see how that could have got away from me. Thought I made sure of that. Oh, they're both here. One's on the screw and one ain't. Okay. Thought that had me going crazy there for a second. Alright. So that's that thing I showed you a while ago. It goes inside the hole. One goes on the other side. And that would go on that side. But let me think if I'm forgetting something here. I feel like that should not go together yet, but alright, we'll leave it there half loose. And what I did notice is that plate that the carburetor goes on, you might want to keep an eye and make sure that's staying sort of lined up, because I feel like it's pinched in there already. So grab a screwdriver and see if I can make it move a little bit. I think I have that stuck anywhere, but it is tight now that I did the casing first, see? So it's one of them things you might want to consider putting that in first, putting the screws in for that first. And I can't remember which screws it is, so I'm about ready to find out. Unfortunately, I think I am going to loosen the casing again. Just a little bit. I don't even have to do the front. I just want that to move a little more freely because I want to make sure I'm lining up the screws properly. Gonna guess that it's these smaller ones for that. And that takes 1/4 inch socket. Yeah, I think that's a smaller screw, smaller diameter too, so that went in too nice to not be the right one. Might want to keep note of that. Take yours apart. Those particular screws have a slot for a screwdriver, where the other ones don't. Okay, so what you're doing is you're making sure that's lined up in there a little bit. Now I'm going to turn this over and tighten the casing back up, which is the 8mm. Okay, this time I'm using metric. which is 8mm, right? It was like a 5/16 or something before. Okay. So you want to make sure that little gasket's there. That goes underneath your oil pump. And this hose coming out of the oil reserve hooks onto the end of your pump. Now I have this pump full of oil. I heard a guy say you might want to fill it up and kind of like prime it up. So it might help to do that. These have its own little screws, which are quarter-inch. 3 of them actually. Well, the one short you don't take out, otherwise the lid will come off of it. But these two here with the screwdriver slot, which are 1/4 inch but long, go down through the length of it and attach onto that carburetor plate. That's what you want to call it. Same thing, you know, don't go crazy. This is plastic. Casing of the pump is. Okay, where's my gasket that I was talking to you about? Failed to get new ones of these. I probably should have, but anyway, I think I'm already gonna. I thought I was gonna regret not putting that in there first. It probably would be easier to have it in there before you put your oil pump, just because you don't necessarily even need to take it out. I took mine out because I had intention on changing it. Okay, here's your carburetor. See the flap? That goes down. Situate that rubber grommet there. Like that. Now, when you get this in there, first thing you want to do is hook up towards the very front here of the saw. This is the siphon coming off the engine, and then this one's coming out of your fuel tank. You want it to just be long enough that you can get it onto that lower back of the carburetor, and make sure this grommet here with your fine-tune screws goes in its slot in the orange casing right there. As you can see. Okay. Then it's these two long silver screws with a slot. These are the 8mm. Towards that rubber grommet goes the one with your choke cover. One in there. Like that. Control off of the top there is how you control your choke. Guess I'm going to crank that one down. Not seeing anything else. I don't think there's anything else that goes under that. Just felt like that had to go intermingled with something else. So I'm just going to tighten it down for now. Go ahead and put your fuel tank cover on so you don't get no dirt in there. Flip it up over here. Get your this is a nice muffler. I like the idea that it completely comes apart. You can clean it, clean the screen and everything. As good as new. You just try to get those screws lined up. The same thing, they'll fall to the side there. You'll think you're in, and you won't be. They're 8mm. Okay. Come back over here. Put your starter. Basically, your words come across there, and that's pointing up. And if I remember right, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. So I struggle with that because it should be 4 of something. Oh, okay, it's in here. All right. So it's 4 of these 1/4 inch small ones with the screw driver end on. Use an extension on that. Okay. See if I can do a little preliminary test here, see if I even got spark. Hate to do all this damn work and not have a spark. Tough because that spark plug wire is just barely long enough to go on the spark plug. I don't see a spark yet. I hope I didn't get those wires flipped, but it's been a while since I put it back together. somewhere. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go somewhere in the dark here and see if I can get it right. Well, I don't know. Guess there's a chance I got them confused. The last time what I did was I got a socket set up. Spun it with a drill. Find my tools. Getting a spark at all. So The most obvious thing is that I led everybody the wrong way and got something backwards. Have no fear. You can always fast forward the video, right? So you gotta take that lower bushing screw out. Actually, you can use this drill since I'm set up here. Save a little time. Let me see before I do that. I know you got to get your muffler out of the way. Might be able to do it with just, oh yeah, that's all I needed to do was the muffler. Okay. Carefully, I guess with a pair of pliers. Pair of needle nose. So if this holds true, the one coming off the magneto goes to the front of that toggle switch, which ends up being like the center of the toggle switch. I was almost positive that I had that correct. I'm not totally convinced that it's not a spark plug issue. Just having a hard time getting that seated. Trying to make sure that they're not touching. Okay. Should be able to leave that muffler off of there and just verify my spark. Make sure your toggle switches up for run, and this would go backwards. Which I'm seeing spark already. My drill's slipping. So I instantly see spark. Okay, so I'm sorry, I got that confused. Let's set the record straight. The ground coming off the motor goes to the prong on the toggle switch that's closest to the body, which looks like it's grounded also almost. So that's a given. And then coming off the center front toggle switch, top of the toggle, the front there, you're gonna get some light on it. Nope, my hat's not working. The front one here, that comes off the magneto. So, did I confuse the wires? I don't know. No, I think I was telling everybody the other way. But I do believe it's good to go now. Alright, so at least we figured it out. I don't know why I feel like I want to do this one little extra step here, and that is to put some of this liquid tape. I can open it. On the ends of that, I know it gets hot in there, but I don't like it. They're too close together. They're too damn close to each other. Hopefully that'll give me a little extra protection there. Hopefully it doesn't cause me any problem. If you do this with a drill, you should use like a ratcheting drill. It's a little nicer. That's just a full spin drill. I have it in here right now, so the ratchet, you can feel it click, you know, just a little easier. That has a clutch on it too. You could do it if you wanted. I know that's not the case though as far as them wires with my old magneto, because we swapped the wires a couple times over thinking we had that issue. So now that I know that is all good to go, I can put the starter back on here. feel like I got something amiss. Maybe it's normal, I don't know. Probably is. Like you know how I said that screw just bottoms out? Well, hell, it don't even hold on to the front of that at all. And it's more than likely supposed to do that. Otherwise, I think you would just feel it all the time. See, that engine's supposed to be able to move like that, independent of the handle. Can't go anywhere. Pretty sure that's right. Pretty sure. Oh, jeez. I almost lost my screws because I didn't finish what I was doing. Almost approaching an hour here on this video. Okay. We got this little handle here that covers down there. I think I'm just going to put my spark plug in a while. It's going to be easier. It's the only reason I can think of that the little bottom of that handle comes off there. To make it easy to put the spark plug in, because I'll tell you what, it's a bear to do it when it's on. So you find the right spark plug. I don't have a spark plug right now. So I'm just going to do it with a rubber ratchet. Okay. Yeah, I do believe that's the only reason for that thing, is make it easier to put your spark plug in. If they wanted to do that, they should have made it somehow quick disconnect of some sort. This is the 8mm. Can be a real pain though, putting that spark plug in there without that off. Just seems like it's hard to line it up. Generally speaking, this saw is very reliable. It cuts like a champ when it's running. Could have just went out and bought one. I kind of liked it. Came across it at an auction. Looked like brand new. There was only one other time that I rebuilt the carburetor. So here's your cover. Have to line that up. Best thing to do is choke your carburetor, which is completely closed, and then put this on choke, and those two will line up. But that needs to move that mechanism for the choke to work right. Oh, shoot. completely forgot that I bought a air filter for this. So I might as well put that in there. I don't know if I ever had one. I don't even know where the hell it goes. I guess that it goes back here somehow. I want to say, yeah, okay, there's a big and a small slot for it. It goes right there like that. Pretty sure facing down. See, yeah, it won't even go on the other way, so that's facing down. I think there's even another part of it, like a pre-filter that can be on here too yet. So I guess it pulls air in these side vents, goes underneath and comes out and goes in. So, yeah, I don't even think I ever had that I recall. Something's out of place. Well, okay. Had nothing to do with what I was doing, but I do see that I do need to do this. I'm going to have to take these two screws out of the carburetor again because I started to tell you hook the fuel line up to the carburetor, and then don't try to do it with the screws in there. It just doesn't work. Before you set it in there, what you want to do is this mechanism here, which is your trigger, goes into that little hole there in the carburetor. So that has to be in there. Otherwise, you're not going to trigger your carburetor at all. I don't know why that is being. There it goes. You see, that has to be there. See how it moves now? Should have noticed that from the get-go. Really save yourself a lot of time if you think these things out. Make sure that don't get jammed up between that washer and the face of it. Sometimes that happens. Now, I don't know. Oh, I think I just didn't have that seated. I don't know. It's aftermarket. Might not be the exact. Seems like that side can go down, but this side can't. I can clearly see that I need to take a little notch out of it. Gotta get the right pliers around here. Snip should work. Yeah, I don't know if filter was for a slightly different model or what, but apparently needs to lay completely flat. See there, notch that just slight little bit there so that it does that. Anyway, that'll work. As you can see, put that on choke, put this on choke, lay it straight down, line your two screws up. I'm putting this on now because even that, believe it or not, is a little bit of a pain in the butt with the handle. Somebody didn't have common sense. Put the handle directly over top of the screw heads. Okay, now, which side is up? I don't know. I'm gonna guess that it's like this. Believe it or not, I think it'll go on there both ways. Let's see how much of a difference there is. Yeah, I would say that your longer going across goes across the top. So get the one in, and we'll bring it along the front side there. Kind of you see why you had to put that one screw in first, otherwise you wouldn't be getting it in now. Okay, so now you got these shorter Allen screw ones. So I'm looking around here. I know I got this longer Allen wrench screw, and for the life of me, I'm like, where does it go? No, it's not down there. Where is it? I know. No, that's got a bushing there. You got a bushing there that has it. And I have that in there. Ain't that something? I'm gonna have to figure out the hard way where this other longer one goes. Jesus. I'm sorry, I just don't see it. You got that bushing up here, and that has one in it. one inside there and it has one in it. At least I think, oh yeah, that would be this. Yeah, it's disturbing because I feel like I'm forgetting something somewhere. And I don't know where that is. Clearly it's not there. I think that's actually the drain hole. Boy, I really hate we're taking it completely all apart again. I got an extra screw here. And I don't think I came up with it by myself. Lord have mercy. I can't even begin to think of where it could possibly go. But probably important. That's there. That one's here. Wow. Don't even have a clue where it may have gone. The only option I can think of doing here is to take it apart until I figure it out. Okay, I guess I'm going to pause this. Okay. Where does this? I completely took the whole damn thing apart. Still couldn't figure it out. Putting it together, now that it's almost back to where I left off. I mean, unless I'm going crazy here, I don't have an additional screw. So the only thing I can tell you people is you can get frustrated doing this crap, and maybe one of them wasn't where I thought it was, but it is now, I think. I'm using the drill quite a bit now. I went out and got my drill with ratchets because yeah, I was getting tired of taking it apart. Yep, yeah. Well, almost. I don't know what to say other than the fact that I must have had one of them off. Not totally sure about them guards. I have to look that up to see if I have them on right. Probably not, because you need that hole for the adjuster. Same size for that spark plug, I think, is the same size for these two nuts. If I remember right. Seems to be. Using 17 right now, but I'm not convinced that's the right size. Oh, I'm going the wrong direction. Thought it seemed like it was getting looser. Yeah, for this chainsaw, if you're tightening it, you're pulling that thing going that direction, which pushes the bar out, which tightens the chain. So that may or may not be the case. And there we go. Depends on your chainsaw, I guess. You want that just not too tight. I don't know what the exact amount I'm supposed to do, but don't get too tight, because what happens is it heats up and then it expands and then it gets tighter. So now that you got that where you want it, yeah, 17's not right for that. I think it's 5/8 if I remember right. Unfortunately, I got metric out right now. It's also 16. I do believe it's a 5/8. So if you have that 5/8 spark plug and you have that with you, that's good, because then you can take that off. So that spins being it's dry right now, I'm going to put a little oil on it. And then these carburetor adjustment screws. So a skinny screwdriver. Boy, wore down a little bit. I don't know where I'm at now. Okay, I think that's in all the way. So what you want to do is half and half to start. Same with the other two. I don't like the way that thing is wore down though. half, half. I think I had them right. Should have not messed with them. Half, half, half. So then what you gotta do is you gotta fine tune it. I ended up having to change the fuel line again too because I pinched it and it cracked. So I guess it would have been coming apart anyway. Because you literally do have to take it apart to take the tank out to do that. Unfortunately. So people, it's late here. I feel very confident it's going to run. Being it's late, I'm not gonna. What I might do is a third video of me tuning them screws once I got some gas in it, which is 2-cycle. So appreciate you sticking with the video. It's been a long one. I could probably do the whole damn thing in less than 30 minutes now. But it's been a little while since I took it apart, so it took me a couple times and I had a couple mistakes. Once you do it a couple times though, it becomes easy. Have a good one.